everyone, my name's Marie Cope and I am here today to try and alleviate, I think, some of the boredom that you might already be experiencing by not going to school, or just to give you something else to do, something to give your mum and dad a break from keeping an eye on you. So what I wanted to do today was read from my book for you called The Misfits and introduce you to the four characters and take you on an adventure, or take you on their adventure with them. So I thought we'd start today and I'd introduce you first of all to a chew. So I hope you're sitting comfortably and well, as they say when we start storytelling, let's begin. So this chapter's called The Monthly Cycle. A Chew lay on his bed staring at the ceiling. He hated this time of the month. He hated the fact that he had to get up at an hour even the birds avoided. He hated having to spend time away from home. He hated the people he was forced to spend time with. He hated the fact that he had no choice. He was the Alpha's son after all. Most of all, though, he hated that he hated it all. He wasn't supposed to hate it. He was supposed to embrace it, to look forward to it, to enjoy it. He was a werewolf. But he didn't. He hated it. And to top it all, he was rubbish at being a werewolf, much to his dad's disgust. A Chew rolled over, crossed his arms over his chest and snuggled down into his bed, his favourite place. As if on cue, he started to feel sleepy and forced himself to look around his room. His faithful laptop where he could play video games and chat with his friends, his real friends, his collection of vintage Matchbox cars, his pride and joy, his bookshelves crammed with comic books and his assortment of beanbags, perfect for a snooze, which he liked to do a lot. He wished, like every month, that he didn't have to go, but he did. They all did. As a werewolf, especially as the son of the Alpha, he had to attend the monthly gathering, as his mother liked to call it, and run wild with the pack. "A Chew, we're leaving. Get yourself downstairs. You're late as usual," his dad shouted. And so it begins, thought A Chew. His ritual failings as a son, and more importantly, as a werewolf, had begun. A Chew sighed and stood up. He picked up his backpack and, having taken a last lingering look at his sanctuary, he headed downstairs. "Why? I just don't understand why." A Chew rubbed his eyes and looked up at the figure looming over him, backlit by the moon. "I was sleepy," he mumbled and shrugged. "You're always sleepy," mimicked his dad. "But that's not what I meant. Well, not entirely. I just don't understand why you have to constantly embarrass me. So, tell me, A Chew, have I failed you somehow as a father?" No, A Chew mumbled. "For goodness sake, stand up when addressing me. I am the Alpha after all, and the pack is watching." A Chew pushed himself up onto all fours and looked up. His dad was staring down his snout at him, his eyes burning red. He leaned to one side so he could see if his dad was telling the truth. Sure enough, the whole pack stood to attention, watching and listening, a few of the younger ones, A Chew's age, sniggering and receiving a clip round the earhole for their trouble. A Chew looked back at his dad and cowered, the disapproving stare weighing heavily on his shoulders. "I'm sorry," he mumbled and looked to see if his mum would come to support him, but she was nowhere to be seen. Not this time. Not after last time. "You're always sorry, A Chew, but sorry isn't good enough. You're old enough to know better and you're old enough to accept your heritage." "But I don't want to. I don't care what you want. You are my son and one day you will take over as Alpha. It's about time you accepted that and started to learn what that entails. Now, come with me." "No, John, don't." A Chew heard his mum's voice pleading. "Stay out of this, Lois. If he won't learn the easy way, then he'll have to learn the hard way. A Chew?" A Chew gazed around wide-eyed, desperately searching for his mum or anyone to save him. But they all bowed before his dad as he padded past. He had no choice but to follow, a mewling sound growing louder as they walked. A Chew felt his stomach knot as they entered a clearing and saw Lou, his dad's second in command, standing there, his paw resting on the neck of a young buck. Achu felt his legs reverse and he backed away straight into the wall of the pack, who nudged him forward. "Oh, Dad, no, no," Achu pleaded, but his dad ignored him. "You are the only one who has never gone through this right, and it's about time you did. You know what you need to do. Don't bother coming home until it's done. Lou will stay to make sure that you do. I'll make a werewolf out of you if it kills me, as that school seems incapable of doing it." Achu watched in disbelief as his dad turned his back on him and strode away, followed by the rest of the pack. He turned back to face Lou and found his stare even colder than his dad's. Achu gulped and knew there was no getting out of it this time. He had to kill the deer and coat his fur in its blood. Tears filled his eyes and masked the image of the wolf padding towards them. He sniffed and wiped his eyes on his leg and looked up. His mum! Achu had never felt so relieved to see her. Lois was whispering in Lou's ear, but Achu couldn't hear what they were saying, despite his acute senses. School tomorrow, though. Maybe this would be delayed, as his mum didn't allow late nights before school, and it was getting pretty late. Maybe then his dad would forget all about this, as he tended to do once he'd calmed down. So, that was a little introduction to Achu, and all he has to entail in being a werewolf. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you'll come back next time when I will introduce you to Boo. Take care now and enjoy the rest of your day.